Hi guys, I apologize, but it's been a really long time since I posted a video. I have posted a few videos of my baby Riley, but definitely not about my vlog, so I'm doing a huge update. The last time I did a video, I was 6 months pregnant. I had gone home from the hospital for about a month and a half, and I explained to you a little bit about what's going on. So I had 3 problems during my pregnancy. I had a subchorionic hematoma. I had gallbladder stones and kidney stones. They do think that it's possible that the hormonal changes with the IVF treatments caused it, but we are not 100% certain. Just to tell you what a subchorionic hematoma is, it's when something starts to bleed in your uterus. For me, it was a small placental detachment, and it caused bleeding, and it caused a hematoma behind the baby's sac, and that can cause bleeding, a lot of bleeding. I had clots coming out. You can lose your baby if the clot comes out, it's too big, causes preterm labor, etc. But with some bed rest and relaxation, that went away I was safe as of 27 weeks, and I dripped a little bit of blood till about 30 weeks. So everything was good with that. The other thing was I had kidney stones. Kidney stones most likely were calcium based, so it's possible mixed with the hormones and the vitamins caused me kidney stones. I ended up having to put a stent in that makes the pee go through the kidney to the bladder to make sure I don't have anything that gets stuck there and I don't cause infections and kidney failure. So that worked out, but I couldn't get operated to get the stone out yet. Then also, because I was too pregnant. Then I also had the gallbladder stones. Gallbladder stones called extreme pain. I don't know if you know what that is, but the gallbladder pretty much, every time you eat fat, it stores bile, and I cause stones. The stones get stuck and cause excruciating pain through your body. I had attacks. I could not get, usually they take out the gallbladder or fix the stones as soon as possible, but I had to deal with it for about 6 months, which is pretty much torture. The pain was so bad. I would have gallbladder attacks about 3 times a week. I would definitely say it's worse than labor. The pain clinic finally came up to me and tried to convince me to take painkillers. They wanted to put me on fentanyl. And I really was not okay with taking that. I'm like, I'm pregnant. I haven't even drank coffee. I didn't do anything during my pregnancy. Why would I start taking painkillers now? And they said, well, pretty much your body's going to go into shock and you're going to lose this baby. They said, the thing is that we're going to give you such low doses of fentanyl that it's not going to affect the baby. You're already, I think at that point I was already 18 weeks pregnant or something like that, or 20 weeks pregnant. So they convinced me that nothing was going to happen to the baby. The baby was already developed. The only thing, the possibilities are, is if the baby's getting it through my bloodstream, it'll have the same effects as me. So I had the choice of either losing my baby or having the chance that my baby was born being addicted to fentanyl. Fentanyl did not... when the baby is addicted to fentanyl, they would have to be weaned off after birth, and then after that, it doesn't affect them forever. Like, it doesn't affect their brain development. It doesn't affect the fact that they won't be addicted to any other drugs later on in the future. So the chances were better that I took that versus losing her, especially since I worked so hard to get her. So to give you guys the great news is that when she was born, she was not addicted to it. She was at a very low birth weight, but that was only because I could not eat any fat. I was on a very strict diet of low fat so that I don't get any gallbladder attacks as much as possible. And so she was born at a proper size, but very skinny. So she was born at 4.3 pounds at 37 weeks. I'll give you guys the birth story very shortly. The gallbladder, just to give you an update on my body, as soon as I gave birth, a week later, they took out the stent for the kidney, and the stone came out with it. So that was great. And the gallbladder, I went for an emergency operation to get my gallbladder removed about a month and a half or 2 months after, it was in April, and I gave birth February 4th. So after she was taken out, I got my gallbladder removed. And that was an emergency operation. That was scary too. I had an attack that wouldn't go away. I had excruciating pain for over 48 hours. It was horrible. So finally they took the gallbladder out, and I've been great since then, and I've been dealing with healing, but I'm actually really good now. I'm starting to exercise again, and I'm starting to gain a bit of weight because I was very skinny. Most women would think that's lucky to be skinny after giving birth, but I looked a bit anorexic, and so now I'm gaining my weight back. Baby's nice and chunky. She's huge. She's over the 50th percentile or something now, but she was born at the 3rd percentile. I'll show you her at the end of the video. She is adorable. Not just because I'm her mommy. She's just generally adorable. So my birth story. After all that issue, I was pretty much in the hospital for about 6 months. I was not home. I stayed in the hospital. I stayed home for about a month and a half when I had given that video, but then I went back to the hospital and stayed there for the last 2.5 months of my pregnancy, or 3 months of my pregnancy. And total, I was in the hospital for about 6 months. Yeah, away from my husband, away from my home, away from my dogs. It was very mentally and physically challenging. So my birth story, we decided to do a C-section at 37 weeks. We had measured the baby. She seemed like she was about 6 pounds. So it seemed like it was going well for that. We decided to go for 37 week because it was starting to we didn't want her to take any more fentanyl. We wanted to get her out. I mean, she was developed. Everything was fine. So they wanted to induce me at 37 weeks. So that day, I told them I did not want the Pitocin. I don't want the contractions like that. Just pop my water and I will get myself in labor. So that's what I did. I popped my water, bounced on a yoga ball, got myself in labor, and everything was going fine. I had about 8 hours of labor. I was dealing with it well. Then the kidney stent started to hurt. It started to be pulled by every contraction. The stent has like a little spring that goes into your kidney, and it was pulling my kidney. It was absolutely horrible. So I took the epidural at that point just so that I can deal with the kidney issue, but the actual contractions were fine. So I asked them for a low dose, and that did help. But it was only freezing half my body, but it was fine because I kind of wanted to feel my contractions anyways. I was dealing with it really, really well. And then Riley's heart rate started to drop. It dropped all the way down to 50. It would stay down there for a while. It was very, very dangerous for her. And I was pulled into an emergency C-section, which was very traumatizing. I did not expect that. I was freaking out, especially the fact that I had already gone through 10 hours of labor and I was about 5 centimeters opened. And she was very low, so she was about to come out probably earlier, probably around 7 centimeters she would have been coming out. That's what the doctors were saying, but because it was too dangerous, we really had to get into a C-section and get her out fast. When they got her, I started to shake. Like, I went into a panic mode. My body was vibrating. I thought it was like as if I was having seizures, but it wasn't. It was just out of stress. I started to shake during my C-section. I did not feel anything. I didn't even know that they had cut me open already. And the baby was out, and I heard her cry. And that was wonderful, except for the fact that they told me that her leg was white. So most likely her heart rate was dropping because something was squeezing her leg and her artery in her leg, and no circulation was going in there. So she would have lost her leg if I would have given birth to her naturally. So that was a good thing that we had the C-section. And the surprising news was that she was not 6 pounds, she was 4.3 pounds. And they were freaking out, so they put her in the intensive neonatal unit. And she didn't need much help, though. She was a strong baby. She was not addicted to fentanyl. Her heart rate was great. She was gaining weight fast. She did have a bit bradycardia when her burps were happening, so that means her heart rate would drop when she had to burp. but it would come back up on its own. So that was just an immaturity a little bit, probably because of her low fat. But she was determined, and she was determined to get fat, and she was great. And the C-section, it was kind of hard to heal from it. I will show you guys, I'll see if I'll show you guys my scar. It's actually really low. I'll show you where it is. And I think that the C-sections these days are wonderful. The scars heal super well, and it's super low in your pelvis so that your pubes can hide it. So I'm super grateful about that. I will never be able to see it in a bikini, which is great. I really want to cut this video short. I'm probably going to be giving you more updates every week now about the baby. I'll tell you a little bit more about my story. And this was a quick synopsis. So I will show you guys my scar from my gallbladder operation first. So I'll show you that. You see there's one scar. Here's another scar. And they made my belly button crooked because there's a scar here now, and now my belly button's all crooked from that. And there's a tiny little scar here. Yep. The C-section scar, I'll show you my underwear. It's right down here, actually. So even if I bring this really low down, there's no C-section scar. It's actually really low. It's about this big. And the edges are actually healing really well. So, guys, I'm in my new house. This is why it's a new background. But I'm going to let you introduce to Riley. How are you? Hello, everybody. This is 5-month-old Riley. This is the baby who was born at 4.3 pounds. Look at those fat legs. Yeah, look at those fat legs. I love you. Anyways, that's the baby. If you want to see more of her videos, you can check out the other videos I posted on my page. It's not considered infertile and pregnant, but have a wonderful week, and I will keep you guys updated.